Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Monday, June 16th, 2025, and I want to review some of the big headlines from the past week, plus touch on some new things. Yesterday, I put out a video on CNN having this story 201 ways to say the F word. If you missed that video, it is up under the videos tab, but of course, what stood out is the 201 ways. You're looking at the guy who wrote his last book on the number 201 and who's been working on a book exclusively about 201 for going on 5 years now. Notice, this is also buzzing in the news at the time of this story. And again, this might have been the most 201 weekend in the history of 201 that CNN ran this story. So keep that in mind as we go through these headlines. But on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, which was last Friday, June 13th, which is the same day Israel attacked Iran, and we call Israel the 201 nation, this also happened. And if you haven't read my last book, Number Games, it's very much about 201 and the military police surveillance state and how the 201 gang controls your military and your big tech companies, which really shouldn't be that surprising since the internet was a military creation in the first place. But look at this from last Friday. Tech executives enlist in Army Reserve for new innovation detachment. Friday, June 13th. 4 Silicon Valley technology executives from major companies are joining the U.S. Army Reserve as officers to inject the speed and expertise of commercial technology development into military innovation through the newly established Detachment 201. An Executive Innovation Corps. The service announced Friday. Again, Friday was June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year, which is the anniversary of the Office of War Information being created, which is essentially a propaganda branch for the military. Deep Throat, the whole Vietnam thing goes back to that date as well. The Pentagon has long turned to civilian experts for technological insight, from World War II era scientists to modern advisory boards like the Defense Innovation Board. Detachment 201 takes the desire to collaborate with the high technology industry to a new level, embedding senior tech execs directly into the Army Reserve as uniformed officers. Yeah, I mean, to me, it just couldn't get any more obvious what's going on. It's already been super obvious. But for all the people that deny the work we put out and what the message was in really both of my books, but especially my last book, really narrowing in on who this 201 gang is, the Jesuits who consider themselves a military order, who have their fingerprints all over our government and the history of big tech in this country. When you think big tech, probably the one company that comes to your mind first, I would imagine, is Google. And if it didn't, if you're actually thinking about it, you'll probably say, oh yeah, probably should have been Google, since usually when I load up my computer, Google's right there, and I'm searching into Google all the time. Remember, Google celebrates their birthday, and they say they don't know why. If you look into Google, they'll say, we celebrate our birthday on this day, but we don't know why. And this day is September 27th, the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. Of course, that was the day leaving 95 days left in the year, like their original mission was to counter the 95 Theses, going with the Jesuits being created 201 months after the 95 Theses was pinned. But yeah, this Detachment 201. There's not much about this on the internet right now. It's kind of flying under the radar. But the 4 people who've joined are from Meta, Facebook, OpenAI, Palantir, and you know what? Actually, I guess I don't know what the fourth is. I'd have to do more research. But all big names there with Meta, OpenAI, and Palantir. And yeah, it seems to only be, or maybe those are the only 3 companies. Maybe one of the companies submitted 2 people from it. But yeah, Friday, June 13th. The new Corps brings top tech talent into the Army Reserve to bridge the commercial military tech gap and is designed to fuse cutting-edge tech expertise with military innovation. All right, here they are. So we got an Indian, Shyam Sankar, from Palantir. He's the Chief Technology Officer. Andrew Bosworth from Meta, also the chief technology officer, Baum McGrew, advisor, Thinking Machines Lab, and former chief research officer of OpenAI, and Kevin Weil, also from OpenAI. So yeah, we got two OpenAI guys. And this ties in with the thing that happened on the first day of Trump's administration, which is the date 20th of January, or 20/1, which is also the 201st day of the nation's age. Remember, Trump had all the big tech people up there, and they talked about the Stargate project. And if you missed my work on the Stargate project, you should go back and check it out. The last Stargate project was 47 years ago by the government, and the leader of that project was born in 47. And of course, when you think Stargate, you think of the movie series, which came out in history on Bill Gates' birthday, another big tech guy. But again, the leader of Oracle, who was the most outspoken person when they were talking about the Stargate project, 3 months earlier in September, he had laid out, or maybe it was 4 months earlier, but 3 or 4 months earlier, he'd laid out in September of 2024 where AI is going to, and his future utopia where everybody has a camera on them at all times and everything's under surveillance, monitored by one AI, and it brings out the best behavior in humanity. The best behavior according to who? This authoritarian government that's the biggest killer in world history, that's the biggest liar in history, making sure that everybody's following their rules, that everyone's on the best behavior in their vision of what best behavior is. Yeah, again, but just another reminder of who's really behind this, the 201 gang, which is the Jesuits. It says Meta recently announced a new partnership with defense tech company Anduril to develop extended reality products for soldiers. I have to look into what these things are. Extended reality. OpenAI is the maker of the wildly popular Gen AI tool ChatGPT. The Army and the DoD writ large are pursuing new Gen AI tools to boost productivity and efficiency. Remember earlier this year, or it was actually last year now, time flies, but it probably was earlier this year. It was around wintertime, though. I remember it was the colder months. I was looking at how OpenAI, what it wrote, was quite favorable about my work, about how profound it could be if it was recognized and how it would change academia and the way people look at the world. And we did a stream on that going, wow, it's kind of interesting how this ChatGPT feels about my work and its profoundness. And then it was like days later that the whole thing written about my work from ChatGPT was totally different. It's like dismissive of it, conspiratorial. It's like, wow, that's a total 180 it did on my work. The way this AI stuff works. Okay. Palantir is a major provider of software tools for the DoD, including the Maven Smart System, and is also developing hardware such as the Army's AI-enabled Titan vehicle. Again, Palantir's, definitely a main player in building this world under one giant AI surveillance. Detachment 201 is supercharging efforts like the Army Transformation Initiative, which aims to make the force leaner, smarter, and more lethal. Again, we don't need as many people, right? We got technology doing what people once did. You go to the store now and they got 20 checkout stands and 1 or 2 people monitoring the 20 self-checkout stands. What once would have been 10 cashiers is now, the grocery chains, the Kroger, the Walmart, they only need to employ 2 people. You see the same things going on at Costco right now. The service stated in Friday's press release, again, the day leaving 201 days left in there just happens to be the day they announced Detachment 201. The Army didn't provide additional details about how large the detachment will grow to or how fast the service will expand it by bringing in new personnel from the tech sector. Friday's announcement comes in the midst of a new Army Transformation Initiative, which is being spearheaded by Secretary Daniel Driscoll and Chief of Staff General Randy George. The initiative calls for eliminating systems that are deemed obsolete for soldiers on the battlefield in the future and procuring dual-use capabilities. Driscoll has advocated for buying more commercial off-the-shelf tech, among other reforms. I guess that's the video there. So, okay. 3 companies. Palantir, OpenAI, Meta. And remember, Meta, when they announced the name change to Meta, which means dead in Hebrew, uh, and how it was going to be all ready by 2030, we were saying right then, we're like, well, 2030, that's the year of the big climate change initiatives, Agenda 2030. And you think about like the things that were being promoted in that, essentially living in virtual reality, going to school in virtual reality, going to work in virtual reality. They're talking about how you won't even need to dress yourself. You can spend your money instead on your virtual avatar self and look like your best virtual self. But you can think about how that would fit in with climate change if you have way less people driving and just people are living through virtual reality. Maybe you live in a teeny tiny, ghetto place. Maybe your neighborhood's burned down by then because of the weather warfare, which is blamed on Mother Nature and climate change. Maybe your neighborhood's burned up by 2030, and the government's solution is they're building these little small 15-minute cities for you to move to. Yeah, it's not that great living in this little tiny apartment, but you know what? You got really cool virtual reality to live in, so you could kind of escape your surroundings. I mean, I don't think it's really going to all happen by 2030, but you can see that they're laying down the framework for this kind of a world where people really do live in virtual reality. It's something like Wall-E, the cartoon, where people are on their screen choosing their red slop or their blue slop, or they're in their chair, they're obese, they're choosing red slop, blue slop as they just watch screens all day. Anyway, but yeah, the 201st Detachment, big tech, CIA, it is CIA, but big tech and military collaboration. Don't forget the CIA was established in a big 201 ritual, as we've talked about so many times. And again, this all comes at the same time. On the first day of the last 201 days of the year, you have the shooting story in Minnesota. If you missed this over the weekend, Melissa Ann Hortman assassinated on the first of the last 201 days. And it was on a 20-date numerology in a big 61 ritual. She was a member of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party. Shot 61 days after the anniversary of the establishment of that party. She was the 61st Speaker of House for the Minnesota House. And yeah, just a lot here that we covered. Tim Walz, it was synced up with, who's 61 years old. And just Assassin 61, perfectly planned ritual. But then the big headline became the Minnesota Manhunt. And believe it or not, Minnesota Manhunt, also 201. And think about it. You got this major war escalating. You got military on the streets of America. You got a military parade. You got militarized police in this very central state, Minnesota, all over the state searching for this supposed killer. And of course, that story did change a lot from the time of the assassinations through the arrest. Initially, they said that the man was dressed in all police gear with a police car, and then that story went away. We see this all the time with how these stories just rapidly change. Years ago, the shooting at a holiday party in California, it was one of the most blatant ones because like the first 8 hours of the day, the manhunt was for 3 men dressed in military apparel, military fatigues. They made it seem like the mass shooters were 3 guys at a holiday work party. And then after about 8 hours of that, it just changed to it was a Middle Eastern couple from Utah or something, Muslims. Like, oh, okay. 3 military white men are the lookout, and now 8 hours later, it's a Middle Eastern Muslim married couple. You guys remember that story years ago? Pretty sure that one's covered in my first book, Letters and Numbers. But yeah, these stories do change all the time. But what doesn't change is just the encoding of the ritual. So just another 201. This is one day after the announcement of the 201st Detachment on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. This being, again, the first of the last 201 days of the year. Once again, the Israel war breaks out on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, or escalates, I should say. And the last major escalation in the war was the 1st of October 2024. 256 days later was Friday, June 13th. But 256 is the 201st composite number. Again, big number with Israel. Big number with the Jesuit order. Big number with the Holy Bible. And in Judaism, there's 613 mitzvahs. 613, like June 13th, 613. Again, the mitzvahs are connected to the Torah, just like Kabbalah, where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, Torah. I won't go over all this again, but we did talk about how the Rothschild on the Balfour Declaration died 201 days from his birthday. The Jesuit encoding on the Balfour Declaration, the Jesuit encoding on Netanyahu, who had stepped down from power on June 13th, 4 years later, and then came back on Albert Pike's birthday, who wrote the letter about 3 world wars on 1229, when 1229 is the 201st prime. Just a reminder of some of the other 201 rituals with the war. The United Nations declared Israel's war on Gaza illegal, and of course nothing happened after that because the United Nations nothing but empty symbolism. But don't forget the leader of the United Nations is also a 201. Antonio Guterres. On the 201st day of the leap year, the UN said Israel's war is illegal in Gaza. United Nations, total waste. Again, when Biden sent over $95 billion to Ukraine, which is where a lot of the people in Israel come from, but to Ukraine and Israel, he did that on the 201st day of the war. And again, the money was appropriated on Small Mustache Man's birthday. Small Mustache Man has that 201 in his name, and again, modeled the SS after the Jesuits. And I'd forgotten about this one, but when Henry Kissinger died, he was a big Israel ally. He died on the 201st day of Israel's age at the time. Also died on the anniversary of Papa Bush's death. This latest escalation, it was still Thursday in the U.S. when it happened, which is Papa Bush's birthday anniversary, Mr. New World Order. Remember, New World Order equals 75. The New York Times published the article on 75 date numerology way back before World War II finished. October 6, 1940, a date with 75 numerology. New World Order pledged to the Jays. And that's why we told you a decade in advance why there was going to be a major ritual like this with Israel while it was 75 years old. When this war began in 2023, Israel was 75 years old. Had these things mapped out a mile in advance. But, yeah, the frustrating thing is, being on top of this, documenting this, calling this stuff out before it happens. And you see the rest of the supposed truth community, still crickets on this topic, still won't talk about it, still won't mention it. To get this out there, we need the help of others, and seemingly there's not really anyone with a platform that wants to help get this message out. And I really feel like we reached the pinnacle of mockery this weekend with all of this going down and CNN even putting up this story. They know that's the word I'm saying over here because just out of frustration, like, how's this even possible? How can the work be this on point? We figured it out this well. Again, we're mapping it out all year. That goon over there, CT. I had him write down all the 44 dates, the kill dates at the start of the year, and I said, just watch the way they unfold this year. I even pointed out to him, I said, in that one, June 13th. I said, that's the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Just watch. And, it's funny. They're over there. They love to talk about me on their channel, but they're like, oh, yeah. Just they can't admit that they're wrong. Just trying to talk all this nonsense. Saying, oh, yeah. It's just maddening, man. And that they really are an example of humanity, though. People cannot admit they're wrong. They can't swallow their pride. They can't learn anything new. It's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's like everyone is just locked in their ways. They went to 13 years of slave school. They got their piece of paper. They know all there is to know. They got the same mindset as my sister, who said countless times in the time I've been aware of this, Zach, if this was important, they would have taught about it in school. That's the way she sees the world. And I'm sure, I'd say probably over half of Americans see things that way, which just shows you kind of how brainwashed they are. Like the authority would have given them what was so essential. When it's like, why do you think this authority is looking out for you? You don't see. It's like, I don't understand why people can't understand the simple dynamic of the government, when you're born, puts a number on you and then expects to collect money off your existence for all of your lifetime. Consumerism, taxation, on your purchases, on your labor. You are a little thing, a commodity that they use so they can just sit on the throne and live off your existence. And again, they keep your mind programmed so that you do all the little things they want you to go along with. They keep them where they are. And they do stamp it with this Kabbalistic code every single day. So anyway, I don't have much else to say right now. Does anything else need to be said? I'm going to open up the phone line. If you guys would like to call in, if you see anything else, are there any other big rituals in the world that need to be uncovered? I did see in Utah, a protester got shot and another got killed by accident, and the shooter's name was Arturo. I did catch that over the weekend. Of course, the leader of the Jesuits is Arturo Sosa. I'm sure that's just an accident. But yeah, let me make sure we got our phone line all the way connected here. Yeah, if there's anything else that's buzzing that you want to talk about, or you got questions, or you got some debate about how all this is just one big coincidence, I mean, I'm all ears. Have you read my book? And do you have anything in there you would like to disagree with? We got our first caller. We got Young Jay from Atlanta. What's up, Jay?
Bro, did you see the live stream I did last night?
The one about Officer Tatum.
Man, it's like this. I don't know what it is about these people, man. Like the mind control, the social conditioning. It's like every time I make a video on these coon ass niggas, they always get their little minions in the fucking chat in the comment section.
It makes me wonder if they're even people, or could they be bots? Could they be bots that protect the interested people?
I don't. It's so crazy. Like, it's so like mind numbing. Like if I show, like, these people are like, first off, most of them don't even leave an argument. They just call me. They just say, "Oh, this guy's stupid." They don't leave any actual arguments. They just they just throw ad hominems and shit. And then it's like you get these few people that are like, well, the cop didn't know what the person was going to do. Just like you said, the person didn't know the cop was going to do. And I'm like, why do you think it's okay for an officer to open your car door for no reason? That's already a problem. The fact that you think it's okay for them to do this, for them to do that shit. And it's like you try to explain, well, okay, it doesn't make any sense. But one, you're not even legally able to do this. This isn't even something that you should be able to do legally. And you get all these people, you see how these conservatives just become hypocrites. I literally show how it violates the Fourth Amendment, and they're like, well, and then you got this dude who just left this long ass paragraph, this long ass fucking comment, just a whole bunch of shit that I already explained in the video. And then these people are like, you got people that are like, oh, you think you know everything? You think you know everything? Bro, how do I think I know everything if I'm literally asking people over and over again to explain how I am wrong? Like, what the fuck? I literally go the whole video saying, well, can somebody show me how I'm wrong? Can you show me how I'm wrong? Can you show me what I said that was incorrect? Nobody ever commented anything. They always wait until it's over and then comment these long ass, dumb ass paragraphs, not talking about anything that I actually said.
It very well could. It very well could be bots.
Crazy.
It very well could be bots and AI. Like I said, protecting the most promoted people on the platform, like Officer Tatum. It's just like when I made that video about Asmongold TV, who's clearly somebody that they want to promote. Just put out all his junk videos, help him make $40,000 He pretty much makes $40,000 every day in ad revenue off the way YouTube promotes him and gets his videos out there, all with 1 million+ views. And putting nothing but junk out into the world, nothing but trash, and making $40,000 a day off it. And another guy that lives down in Austin, so he's probably connected to the cabal somehow. But the video I made about him, that video was instantly not eligible for monetization, and also got a bunch of these long, stupid comments like you're saying. And I'm like, well, it could be because they have a lot of followers, but it also seems weird that I can't call out what's going on with how he's supposedly violating all these rules that YouTube's saying you shouldn't be doing. But then he's highly monetized and highly promoted. I just watched a YouTube guy say that you're not supposed to drop an F-bomb in the beginning of a video. He does that every time. He's talking about fantasizing about killing people. that he learned from video games. So it's like, why is that monetizable? I'm pretty sure if I went on a rant about how I would like to kill people and I learned that from Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, I'm pretty sure that would not be monetizable. All this, so it's like he can violate every rule and make all this money and be promoted, but then meanwhile, my stuff is deleted and censored because supposedly I'm not safe to YouTube's audience. This doesn't, I mean, it's just like the one time Cuts made the video about you calling you the N-word like 1,000 times, and then you take a 30-second clip of that and comment on it, and you get suspended for a week. I think his video's still up. And by the way, you guys, Cuts who's a weirdo troll who is promoting a video that he's going to be calling my wife's work and harassing her on the 201st day of the year. I will remind you guys that he was waiting for me at the big tech campuses when I went down to the Bay Area. I'm pretty sure these kind of paid-for trolls actually work for these companies. So, anyway. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it.
It's crazy. I do think, unfortunately, I do think, like, even though I think it's a mixture of both, I 100%, it's 100% possible that, well, I don't even think it's possible. I think there is like a thing where you have bots commenting on the videos, but I do know that there are, unfortunately, a lot of people that do have, like, the mentality of a lot of these people. Like I see videos uploaded all the time where people are like just cucking down to authority, essentially, just giving authority every pass to do what they want.
That's everybody in this country.
The cops can walk all over you.
Yeah, that's everybody in this country.
The cops can walk all over you. You don't have to be okay with it. And I'm like, well, why should we think that it's okay for them to do that? So a cop can open your door. They can do this, they can do that. And then I'm like, well, yeah, the cop is a random person. You don't know what he's going to do. And they're like, well, he's not a random person. He's a police officer. And I'm like, no, he's a random person because you don't know him. Just like you don't know a stranger coming up. The cop is still a stranger.
Yeah.
What essentially you're doing is that you're putting past, you're basically saying that they can't do anything bad to you because they're a cop. That's essentially whether you realize it or not, that's what you're subconsciously doing. You're basically just saying that, oh, well, they can't do anything to you. You're putting past the idea of them doing anything nefarious to you because they're an authority figure. And that's the fucking problem with this shit. You wouldn't be okay with the stranger opening a car door if you're okay with the cop doing it when he's not supposed to.
That's the mind control. I mean, that's how this is one nation under mind control. And I've said a million times that it shouldn't be referred to as the land of the free, home of the brave. I mean, people are cowardly here. They worship authority. They're definitely not free. Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a pathetic population in this country is the bottom line, and the authority worship is out of control. And yeah, just the fact that nobody should even be watching Brandon Tatum. If people had American spirit, they'd be like, no, this guy's a fucking loser.
They'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers talk about your mentality is going to get people killed. And I'm like, if you can be killed because you want to close your door back when a cop forces it open without him being able to, then shouldn't you think that's a problem? It needs to be addressed when it comes to authority instead of just accepting it. And then it always gets me when these people are like, well, just let the cop do whatever he wants. Just fight it in court. You can't fight it in court if you're dead. What if they kill you? like that's the fucking problem. They can tase you, beat you, do all this stuff, and they can for sure kill you. There's plenty of times where somebody died because the officer brutalized them. You got plenty of instances where that happens. So that's the whole point of why there are these restrictions that are supposed to be set in place for what the cop is not able to do. So when the cop violates those restrictions, you should be able to, like, if they close your door or if they open your door to your house or your car without any probable cause, you should 100% be able to close it back. Ask for a supervisor, do this, do that. So the fact that they can violate this and get away with it, essentially, that shows that there's a problem. Fucking retards, man.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of sharing the planet with these people because they fuck it up for the rest of us. For the rest of us, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's bad.
That's why I don't disagree. I feel like most people, you can't fix this level of stupidity and this level of social conditioning. Like most people honestly do just need to go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, I've said it 1,000 times as well. I don't think anything else is going to change unless there is some major cataclysmic event. So. Anything else, Jay? You still there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, that was it.
All right.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not going to change unless it's something like that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, right. I appreciate the call, and thanks for doing the good work, man. Keep it up. All right, take care, Jay. Let's see. We got 347. 347. What's up?
What's up? Yeah, what's up? I just want to make the observation right here. You got Nate and now who's talking about he's not going to stop till he take Iran nuclear weapon program. Iran been working on this nuclear weapon program since the 90s, and they still ain't got it up yet. So what does it remind you of after 9/11? Oh, Iraq, weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we 25, 26 years later, the same playbook. Y'all don't see
it? They don't see it. They don't see it. It's the same number pattern. It's everything. That's why it's so annoying. It's like, oh, the war just happens to begin on the anniversary of us invading Afghanistan. Oh, I'm sure that's a coincidence.
Exactly. And now who's talking about the October that the dad said, they let that. That's like our 9/11. That's why as soon as that happened, he called it Israel 9/11. So that gives them the reason to do the same thing we did with Iraq with the weapons of mass destruction, go through all the same bullshit all over again.
It is pathetic. It is pathetic. By the way, I haven't heard your voice in forever. Welcome back.
Yeah, it was good, Zach. I've been busy, man. I've been trying to guys don't work hard up here in the city, man. It's hard up here.
Well, yeah, everywhere. Exactly. I think that's another thing going on in the world is just everybody has to really grind right now to keep up because of what's going on in the world. So, yeah.
And just like you say, all these wars is bankers.
Yeah.
Bankers and the investors and all the people who own all these weapons, all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just another reset.
Yeah.
And they got the perfect idiot in there, Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And Netanyahu. Those two.
Yeah. It's amazing that more people don't see through it. Go ahead.
But the only thing that kills me, talking about, okay, Israel defend yourself. Okay, ain't nobody, okay, if somebody defend yourself, but they don't say nothing about they killing the innocent kids and civilians and stuff. Y'all not going after the so-called really bad guy. Y'all going after women and children. Out of the 55,000 they done killed, half 87% is women and children.
Exactly.
How can you justify that? So they killed 22. I mean, you got to kill 22,000?
And did anybody even really get killed at all? Is there any proof that anyone was killed in the first place? Is there any proof that anything happened?
Exactly.
They tried to tell you there was a concert. They tried to tell you there was a concert super early in the morning on a weekend. I never heard of anything like that in my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And during that time, they were protesting Netanyahu before all that shit happened. Like that. Like you said with Americans on Trump, they thought it was going to all of a sudden that happened. That's a 9/11. Boom, we stay in power to do the bullshit that they got planned right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So to save money, Trump's putting out the new Trump mobile plan by the numbers. Are you going to sign up?
Oh, shit. I saw a post with everything is gold with this mother. Everything is gold.
Well, he just turned 79, right? He just turned 79. He just turned 79 years old. The 79th element on the periodic table is gold.
And one more thing about the Tisha Bob, I know you did a video on the Tisha Bob. Something August 2nd, right?
It's August 2nd and 3rd. Those are the 2 days of Tisha B'Av. Yeah, 666 days from the war start.
That's what we JD Van's birthday, right?
August 2nd. Yep.
why do they just take Trump out? He always wear a diaper. He wear a piss bag. He slurred his words. He talk of everything he said about Joe Biden. That's him.
Sure.
Sleepy Joe, falling upstairs. Everything he says is him. He's telling on himself. And y'all dumb people, because of y'all racism and your white superior, y'all can't see through the bullshit. You just don't want to see through the bullshit. You want to just burn up.
Yeah.
You want to burn up in your whiteness and your evil ways instead of just coming together for the truth. Because he don't care about you. If you're not in that certain class or that certain family, they don't care. Am I wrong there?
No, the problem is everyone's egos got them caught up in all the stuff they've been believing in and their family's been believing in for all these years that they've been misled into, whether it's their political party or their religion or their one political issue that they stand on all day. And that's what's annoying. It's like you guys can't break away from your mind control and see what's actually going on and help put an end to all this nonsense. Yeah, it's maddening.
And America is immigrants. Y'all came over here because of religious freedom. Y'all come over here. Y'all don't kill the Indians. Y'all force them to take in their land and so. But they act like they got amnesia. They got amnesia. They don't remember what they did. The so-called experiment called America.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody is. It's not from here.
Right.
Ancestors not really from here.
Right.
So how can you go after these people, call them illegal immigrants or legal immigrants? However you want to call. You know what I mean by that, right?
Of course.
But like what's the Americans say? You can come from anywhere in the world and you could be American, but you can't go to France and be called you France. You can't go else. You come to America, where you from? You're American, right? That wasn't supposed to be.
And here, I just want to point something else out too. Everybody remembers. Everybody remembers after Cooties 19, all of a sudden there were all these people that just didn't have enough people to keep their places running. You'd go into a place and they'd be like, oh, we're not open today because we don't have any employees around, or oh, yeah, you're going to have to wait forever because we're short staffed. And then all of a sudden they're telling you the border's wide open, and it seems like things did pick up. I know in this area I live, it's mostly Hispanics that live here. And there have been some ICE sightings. I'm pretty sure I had one just down the street from me because there was like 8 police vehicles out there and some unmarked cars, and just had a guy pulled over on the side of the street with all this law enforcement around him. Like, this is probably what it looks like. They probably pulled over this guy and found out he didn't have his papers, and now you got the police and the feds here. And again, who's getting arrested really? Just people who came here to work. And again, for everyone who cries about, well, they're eating up all of our tax programs and social programs.
Legal immigrants. Legal immigrants. Well, they came over here. They working. What criminal works that? What criminal work? One criminal will show up to their court. They try to get the legal process and try to be American. A criminal don't go through that.
The point is, almost everybody comes here to work. That's the point. Almost everybody who comes here to work. And like I said, in 92, the year that you had the Rodney King riots, was also the year that they passed NAFTA, George W. Bush's, or H.W. Bush's. So 33 years later, they're now comparing this stuff to the Rodney King riots, these Mexican flags everywhere. When they passed NAFTA, you had people speaking out at the time saying, by passing NAFTA, you're going to destroy all these Mexican agricultural workers, and they're going to be coming across the border here for jobs. All of this is done on purpose. It's all by design. It's all one big mockery.
You see how they picture it. They always like, what about these businesses that hire Walmart? All these companies that is benefiting from these immigrants. Y'all don't go after. They don't talk about go after them. Just go after the small minor people.
Yeah.
If you really want to stop, go after the businesses. But I don't think how they profit and shareholders. It's all about businesses and shareholders, right? It's all about businesses and shareholders.
Yeah.
That's it. We just a number. We are just a number. Just be manipulated. Just buy their stuff and do what we want to do. What like you said, you have nothing to be happy. That's what they want.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, but I just want to make that point how this dog that's talking about Iran is nuclear nuclear weapons stuff. It reminds me of the Iraqi and the weapons of mass destruction. And we still ain't found the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We're still looking for the weapons of mass destruction.
And almost all the people who told those lies, almost all the people who told those lies are now dead, and you can't even get any justice for it. So, Rumsfeld.
You don't hear one word out of W, right? You don't hear one word out of W.
Well,
I guess you just go to Houston baseball game, the Texas baseball game. You don't hear one word out of him.
They did have him throw out the first pitch for the 119th World Series. Yeah, they did have him throw out the first pitch.
Blackwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point I wanted to make about the JD Vance piece of Bob, if they really want to set this shit off, just take Trump out of here. They don't need him no more. He already did his damage. He's just a useless idiot.
Well, I've been saying that they've set up history that JD Vance very well has a narrative to replace Trump by him not finishing the term. Because again, when they picked JD Vance, they picked him in Milwaukee, which is where Teddy Roosevelt was shot in history, and he's the youngest VP since Teddy Roosevelt. And Teddy Roosevelt replaced McKinley, the 25th president, like Trump renamed the mountain McKinley to start 2025. And then the other piece is McKinley got shot in Buffalo. And remember, J.D. Vance was picked right after that fireman got shot from the Buffalo Fire Department.
Exactly. Trump wanted to buy the Buffalo Bills and all that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Don't forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget J.D. Vance wife is Indian. If you just had that Indian plane crash and Prince William's best friend, that billionaire from India, he tweeted about the plane crash and he died with a bee in his mouth. Don't you know that the Freemason is something with the bee? It's something with the bee in the Freemason thing. I don't know. I got to look more into it, but there's something about that bee. So William just knocked off that billionaire Indian dude the same day that plane crashed. And J.D. Vance's wife is it. So all this shit just go together. Sometimes you don't even need the numbers to look at. You just put two and two together. Then when you put the numbers behind it, you see what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly. Well, I just wanted to make that point. That's it.
All right, man. Well, it's good to hear from you.
All right. Take care.
All right, yeah, you too. Take care.
Okay.
Yeah, take care. Yeah, him bringing up George W. Bush. Again, the power of the knowledge, you guys. Understanding George W. Bush, the Rangers, Rig Sports. We got the Rangers the other year at 50-1 to win the World Series, and they did. And it was all synced up with Bush from the start of the year. They beat Philly to open the season 11-7, 267 days after Bush's birthday. That's the Philadelphia area code. We saw the major ritual. We said, you know what? Let's put in a ticket for the Rangers at 50-1. Even $10 on it pays $500. And sure enough, Bush threw out the first pitch for the 119th World Series. And that World Series ended on the 119th day of his age. And, of course, his Rangers beat the Diamondbacks, who were in the World Series after the 11th of September event, 11-9, back when he was president. The only two World Series the Diamondbacks have been in. That one after the 11th of September, and again, the one that they just lost to the Rangers in the 119th World Series. But yeah, look at the gematria Jesuit Order in Trump Mobile. And in the one cipher, cell phone's also a perfect match. For the record, in the cipher where they're both 54, cell phone is 45 in that cipher. His plan's going to cost $47.45 a month before taxes, and you don't think these people are into numerology? Keep in mind, it launches today on a date with 47 numerology. And the name of the phone, it says, if you buy the phone, it's called the T1. The Trump phone that they're selling for the plan is called the T1. T's the 20th letter. So if you turn T to 20, is it the 201 phone? Is that a 201 phone? The Trump Organization on Monday announced a mobile phone service and a Trump-branded smartphone extending the family real estate company into the vast U.S. telecom market. The announcement arrives exactly 10 years after the launch of President Donald Trump's first presidential campaign, and it features a monthly mobile plan priced at $47.45, an apparent reference to Trump's resume as the nation's 45th and 47th president. I'm incredibly excited to step into this new digital space. Hardworking Americans deserve a wireless service that's affordable, reflects their values, and delivers reliable quality they can count on. I don't think any cell phone service does that. Pay a lot for these phones, and the service, the sound quality's horrible compared to what we all had with landlines decades ago. Executive Vice President of Trump Organization said in a statement on Monday, Trump Mobile follows a long line of various products featuring the Trump family name that President Trump and his family have promoted. Like, remember the $60 Trump Bible for the 60th election? Including the Trump meme coin, Trump sneakers, and Trump guitars. How could they forget the Trump Bible? Are you kidding me? Trump Mobile offers both a cellular plan and a smartphone. The company provides 5G service through what it calls the 47 plan. Under the service, customers will access the same coverage as the 3 nationwide phone service carriers. You guys know Truth Social, his social media plan equals 47 too, right? Truth Social. Under the service, customers will access the same coverage as the 3 nationwide phone service carriers, Trump Mobile says on its website. The three top U.S. wireless carriers are Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. Trump Mobile boasts customer perks such as unlimited talk, text, and data, roadside assistance, telehealth services, and free international calling to more than 100 countries. The unlimited texting may be subject to data limits, the company's website says. The company also sells a smartphone, which it calls the T1. T is the 20th letter. So is that not 201? The 201 phone? The Gold. Again, gold is the 79th element on the periodic table. Trump turned 79 this past Saturday. The gold-colored phone features a built-in camera and 256? 256 is the 201st composite number. And 256 gigabyte storage. An American flag and T1 are inscribed on the back of the phone according to an image on the company's website. Yeah. It doesn't say who builds the phone. What company are they using to build the phone? It'll be released in August. If it releases on August 15th, I'm going to die. That's the day his brother died in recent years. That's the Jesuit Order's birthday. Probably in the time of Leo, the lion, the lion's the sun is gold in alchemy. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Open Up for the super chat and for letting me know about this story. Another 47 ritual. Clearly Jesuit. Trump Mobile. Unbelievable. All right, if anybody else would like to call in, the line is up. It is that 509-560-4982 number at the bottom of the screen. We got a text message from Kayla Decode Talker. What's up, Kayla? She says, T1 class failing kindergarten refers to transitional first grade. Interesting. What is it? A T1 class is a step between kindergarten and first grade. So this is about where the average education level is of a Trump supporter. I see. It is designed for students who need more time to develop skills before entering first grade. Funny. I don't think this is an accident because Trump's people are truly retarded. And for anyone out there who might be a Trump person who's offended, sorry. Trust me, I'm no Democrat or anybody on the Democratic Party. It's just the Trump people are the dumbest people on earth. And that's because how could you possibly vote for a guy who ushered in the banker scam and went along with the Cooties 19 and all that crap and printed all that money, causing hyperinflation, and you guys were dumb enough to not realize that's what caused it. That's why you guys are pathetic. What's up, 626?
Peace, Zach. You know who it is. It's VV. Yo, I gotta say, just as an aside, I find it absolutely humorous how you your wife like sweet lady and like you call your daughter like sweet girl, because every single time that I'm listening to it in public, like it sounds like you're about to pick up like some message to do. I think you might want to change the pet names, my guy.
Okay. Well, let's open up the phone line for, I don't know. I like calling my wife sweet lady, and I like calling my girl sweet girl. Let's get a better phone call. Thank you, Kayla, for the information on T1. So they're slow people. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And remember, if a deal's too good to be true, those are some pretty swell prices. There might be something else going on with that Trump Mobile.
Yeah, I think statistically it said that I
think less than half of people they can't do math or read at grade level. So that probably applies to the last caller as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that just a reminder that everyone that a military personnel file is referred to and is called to a 201 file.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every military personnel file is referred to as a 201 file. And that's interesting because, all this stuff, pretty much happened. Even 201 days left, or the first day of the 201 days left remaining. Follow?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this new 201st detachment, the military and big tech getting synced up. It's going to further the surveillance state. And yeah, they already do call it the 201 file. So yeah, it ties right in.
Yeah, why would they even this? Right. So there's more evidence piling up. Yeah, and
you know what? I forgot this one too. I'm looking at my old post on the 201 file. The Department of Defense, the Secretary of Defense, the zip code there is 20301. That's the 201st triangular number. And remember, this year they picked the Secretary of Defense on the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, November 12th. Pete Hegseth got picked November 12th.
Wow, 20. Oh, that's a triangular number. That's the 21st triangle. Wow. Well, what's crazy about 213 is that I think the word sacrifice is mentioned 213 times in the Bible. Anybody could clarify that on Bible Hub, or you could Google it. But I think that the word death is mentioned. The word sacrifice is mentioned 213 times. You follow?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's connected to death. So yeah.
Yeah, the word sacrifice.
And this year, the Friday, June 13th, left 201 days left in the year, was 213 days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, Arturo Sosa.
Correct. The whole connection of 213 and Tupac, and it's his birthday day.
Yeah, Tupac would be 54 years old if he were alive today. Yeah.
What was it? It was 213 days from the day he released his album.
Yeah. All Eyes on Me came out on 213, and he died 213 days later, and drive-by shooting equals 213. Yeah.
He's from the 213, and yeah, this is amazing. Like, come on, man. Illuminati hit, for real. There was one more thing about, this week, to keep it on the hip-hop rapper thing, Prodigy suffered from sickle cell his entire life, and what's the coincidence he dies on World Sickle Cell Day?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was close to Tupac's birthday too, wasn't it? Because Tupac made fun of him for having that in the Hit 'Em Up song.
It was this week. It was June 19th. June 18th. They recognized Sickle Cell Day, and he passed away that day from choking on an egg or something like that.
Yeah.
Some crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. But great job, Zach. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. 480.
Hello.
Hello.
To go with that T1, I was thinking Terminator, because and then Judgment Day was August 29th in that movie in Terminator 2, which is, I don't know if that's, if he likes to do goofy shit like that, but that's what made me think of T1, like the Terminator,
Oh yeah, the T1. Yeah. That's interesting. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So he does stupid shit like that. So, And then did you know the weather stuff over there in Europe? The name of it's called Satan.
The weather monitoring system is called Satan?
Yeah, it's called Satan.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, there's a weather, over there. I'm pretty sure it's over in Europe. Yeah, that it's called Satan. I'm just like, what the hell? But yeah, it's crazy. All right, that's it.
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, yep, later.
Yeah, again, it is interesting that Tupac would be 54 today. We know how special that number is to the Cabal. To think more about that one. I don't know what to say. I didn't pull up the Satan thing yet. I see Europe swelters under a heat wave called Lucifer. That was from years ago, though. What's up, 832?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, just calling in to talk about, the Palantir and what we're going to do forward. Because, I mean, it's alarming. I joined the live pretty late, and I kind of skimmed through it. And earlier, he talks about how the government is hiring for AI services, ChatGPT, and Palantir services. I'm thinking, I mean, this is for a long time. I mean, I already told my friends that, they're trying to starve everyone out, and especially in a tech firm here, tech sector. I used to be a tech worker until they laid me off, right? So I figured there has to be a reason for all this, right? Because it's seen kind of happen collectively, and to put all these tech guys out of work, now they're about to implement a Palantir, so they're gonna make a tech worker work for the evil deeds, So, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, so we knowing all this, like they're making big move with this Palantir thing, and I mean, the Doc and Cody show with Elon Musk and Trump. I mean, it just like kind of what can we do right now? I mean, this Palantir thing, when it comes in, people like you are gonna be affected too. It's pretty much like Lord of the Ring, the Eye of Sauron. So what are we gonna do?
Mark Zuckerberg made a joke about the Eye of Sauron. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I gotta go back and pull that headline up. Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, the more time goes by, the harder it is to do anything about it. It really does seem that somehow you'd have to get humanity on board with we all abandon our technology at once and just go back to a pre-internet age. I think that would do wonders. So,
I mean, I have the same opinion too. I mean, I used internet back in 2000 a lot, even during the dial-up days. So I know the internet was made for more toward like the nerds and techie people. I never thought it meant for people. It felt like a space where it's appropriate for, nerds and tech who use this for their own reason, right? And nowadays it's just like become a Potemkin village, right? It's just county control and everything is fake. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, but I think the biggest thing right now is I think we should advocate people to destroy this bill because. It's like signing a death warrant, right? You're getting all tracked, and it's just one big stepping stone for them to have more control.
Yeah. Just for the record, when Zuckerberg referred to himself as the Eye of Sauron, and Meta's now part of this 201st attachment, he did it on the Tim Ferriss show, and I have it up on the screen. You can see how the Eye of Sauron equals 201 and 177, just like Tim Ferriss show is 201 and 177, just like the Jesuit order. Yeah.
The Tim Ferriss show, what was that about? I don't know about that one.
I don't, honestly, I don't even know who that is, but that's just where Mark Zuckerberg referred to himself as the Eye of Sauron. And by the way, also just remember, the Lord of the Rings series got super popular right about the same time 9/11 happened. Of course, the books were made after World War II, but again, 9/11, 2 towers became 0 before they became 1. If you look back in history, the book called The Two Towers from the Lord of the Rings, it came out on 11/11. But yeah, I don't think any of this stuff's an accident. I just think it's all just a slow-moving mockery.
So. I mean, okay, I thought the whole Iran thing, not shooting back, is gonna be a joke, like a nothing burger. But obviously, there's something happened, right? So, do you like foresee, like, okay, for 9/11, right? The Twin Towers stuff. There was a lot of signal and hidden messages in movies and poster, like everything they point out at 11, right? So, do we expect another one, like another false flag? Major operation like this, just to drag us into another war soon, or you think it's gonna, be a little longer?
Yeah, I think it's likely, and it's probably a cyber attack type thing, something like that. Something that takes the grid down. Because Janet Napolitano, again, she told us back in 2013 that the next 9/11 is not if but when. She said what it's going to be. She said it's going to be a cyber attack carried out by a foreign nation, an enemy state that takes down our entire grid. And again, after Event 201 happened, Klaus Schwab, that's when they started doing the cyber polygons, and he said the next major event in the world that's going to be even worse than Cooties 19 will be a cyber attack. So we've heard the same thing from multiple people. This year began with the De Niro series about a cyber attack that messes up the nation. That's turns out to be carried out from within. I also want to remind you brought up Revenge of the Nerds. I just want to remind people that Revenge of the Nerds did come out on the 201st day of the year in 1984. And it was synced with that other 201 84 guy, Bill Gates. So, yeah, I think all this has been a joke just long in the making. Because, yeah, the big tech takeover of the world is seemingly the Revenge of the Nerds.
Crap. Well, I mean, I got to get back to work soon. But, yeah, so what can we do to prep? I mean, if they're doing cyber attack, I guess some solar panels, like what's the plan? I mean, we're talking about 2A, like the Second Amendment. I mean, everybody, I'm pretty sure, is prepped for that now. But, I mean, I feel like that is a double-edged sword that, they're going to want, like, some kind of insurrection, and then we shoot each other, and then, oh, hey, look at this. We need to implement more security.
Right. They're in control. That's their plan. They got everybody at each other's neck, blaming every group, turn the power out on the country for a period of time, and they'll let everybody take care of themselves. That's why I've been speaking out against all this stuff and how I mean, if you haven't been here since 2013, that's what I've been explaining to people the whole time, that eventually that's where they're taking people. And that's why you see all this stuff they're introducing, all the racial divisiveness, all these new groups to provoke people. Mm-hmm. I've been saying the same thing for over a decade. And I've been saying that's why people need to wake up to what they're trying to do and where they're taking us to. So their plan doesn't work. But you can see it looks like their plan's going to work to perfection at the rate things are going.
Do you plan on having a second discussion channel or communication group? Just so at least we have a group that fall back into, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a community.
Well, what I learned is, I mean, I don't know if you were here in 2022, but what we found is when I did the nationwide gatherings, bringing people together from Seattle to New York, we found out that a lot of people who came out were more like government trolls and plants and instigators. And I've had just weirdos trolling and harassing ever since. And a lot of people who came out and have been making videos attacking the work. So that's what I realized. It's like you can't even do that. I mean, you have something like that, you're going to be infiltrated. So, I mean, sadly, it's just, it's a big monster, the machine, and they got their eyes on even, small little activist groups such as ourselves. And yeah, it's just, honestly, I mean, if humanity can't wake up together and stop what's coming, I don't see too many ways other than you better have your own survival skills up, your own plan up. But yeah, you might know a few people in your own neck of the woods who are part of a tight circle you can trust, but it would be hard to have. I see you're saying like, well, we should have a communication network and a plan. If we had that, we'd have maybe more infiltrators in the group than actual people. So.
Oh, man, that's a lot of doom. Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, I'll let the next people talk.
I wish I had better news. That's just everything I've learned. So that's all my realizations.
Oh, thank you, Zach. Yeah,
all right.
Thank you for the phone call.
Yeah, take care. See you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the news was better, but that's the reality of the situation. So, all right. You got to mute your video. 541. What's up, 541? We'll try this out again. 541.
What's up? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, I just was saying, looking into the Grand Lodge in North Dakota is address 10, and then also Broadway Square, which is
little mini Rockefeller Square of New York, is address 201. So they obviously were ran by Jesuits all over, but especially here in Fargo. And I know that you mentioned you were going to call the Attorney General maybe, but it just bugs me because everything is ran by fucking numbers. And it'd just be great if you could like do a live call and just be like, hey, like, don't you guys know that everything is ran by numbers? Like, why are you guys laughing about that? I know it's cheesy, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I do intend to do that. I need to do some research so I have something better to call him on. But I do remember he's got the 39 connection, and if I remember right, yeah, I'll go back and double check it. But yeah, it's on my to do list.
Okay, cool. And then, the Grand Lodge is 201, which I just discovered that. So that's another big one, I think, so.
And the other reason, the Masons use 201 too, because it's connected to Jewish mysticism, which is Kabbalah, which is what Masonry is based in. It's just like here in this little tiny town I live in, the Masonic Lodge and the police station are all the same building, and the address is 1229, which is the 201st prime. And it's just like the Masonic Lodge behind the Oklahoma City Federal Building. After the bombing, it sold for $201,000. It's so that number is everywhere once you recognize it.
It totally is. And I have your book. But what is it when you said it's tied to Jewish? Like that's why the Masons use it because it's tied to Jewish Kabbalah. Where does
Jewish mysticism equals 201. The main Jewish mysticism is Kabbalah, which is what Freemasonry is based in. And again, I think that's why you also see the Masons using the number.
Yep, because they go, okay, that makes sense. Well, cool. I won't take up any more of your time, but I just saw that and I just wanted to put that out there. So, okay, well, you have a good day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. I got to wrap it up in about 20 minutes. I know you guys like the audio setting when it's connected directly better, but it seems to always start doing that after a period of time, that it just starts breaking up and you hear every other word. And I haven't been able to troubleshoot that problem. So I got to go back to this method once it starts doing that. What's up, 814?
Hey, what's up, Jack? It's Jared.
How you doing, Jared?
I just want to add that with the Trump cell phone thing and the 201, if you put the in front of cell phone, it's 201. And you brought up Stargate, the Stargate thing. Well, today actually was the day Oracle was launched.
Oh, the company Oracle was launched on this date?
Yeah, in 1977, 48 years ago.
Jeez.
It was under a different name then, but I mean, I actually noticed that this morning on the day in history. With the Stargate thing, that's funny too with the AI, because if you go back and think, which that movie had a 2 hour and 1 minute runtime, and if you go back, it's because he's doing all this, it's all about AI, and I guarantee they'll tie it in with the big alien thing too, probably because Stargate was about aliens, but like James Spader was in Stargate, and James Spader did the voice of Ultron in the Avengers movie, which was an alien AI that was trying to destroy humanity. And it also starred Kurt Russell. Now, and I'm trying to find something, and I was watching a thing a long time ago with Kurt Russell, and the Phoenix Lights incident.
Right.
Well, yeah. Kurt Russell was the pilot that first reported that.
Oh, like the actor.
Pilot, and he was the first one that witnessed it. And like, I'll have to see if I can find the old clip of him talking about that. I don't remember what it was on, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. But
it is interesting. Yeah. 48 years to the day. We know Donald Trump equals 48. So, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, well, and he was shot in his Oracle, the outer ear, but I don't know.
Sure.
But I just thought I'd add it in there.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jared. As always, great research.
All right, have a good one.
All right, yeah, you too, man. Take care. The Stargate Project, 211, that's the 47th prime. They talked about it in great length on 21/1. And from Sam Altman's birthday, Mr. OpenAI, from his birthday to that day was 275 days. The Stargate Project, the other way, is 275. That's why I see so many people whenever they bring up my work about how we're doing it this way and that way. It's just like so annoying listening to people talk about this when they try to say, they're like, oh yeah, forwards. They like say it in mockery. It's like, isn't it like almost every day we're showing how the forwards and backwards perfectly aligns in these rituals? The Stargate Project on the 211 day. Run it the other way, 275 days after Mr. AI's birthday. Yeah. OpenAI 60 going with the 60th election and Donald Trump 60. But yeah. The original big tech guru, Bill Gates, same birthday that the Stargate movie came out. And it came out in the year that he became a celebrity. Remember, Kurt Cobain died at the start of 94. Bill Gates became super famous that year. Rich, young tech billionaire. Got married to Melinda that year. His mom died that year. Eventually, his daddy would die at age 94, like Seattle, Washington's 94. And don't forget, Cobain died 94 days after him and Melinda got married. And then that was also, Cobain's death was 206 days before Bill Gates' birthday, like Seattle's the 206 area code. But yeah, we talked about this at the start of the year, the Stargate project. There was a few other things that were definitely noteworthy about it. But yeah, again, Larry Ellison, Mr. Oracle, was talking about in great detail his future utopia where everyone has a camera on them and they're all under total surveillance, putting them on their best behavior. Larry Ellison delivered these remarks one day after the anniversary of the towers coming down, 2 that became 0 before they became 1. Oracle's Larry Ellison sees AI supervision keeping citizens on best behavior. The meeting was on the 256th day of the year, which is the 201st composite number. The date can be written 12/9 like 129. 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. Let me see if I put the... I know I showed the clip when I did the video. I guess I didn't link it in this post. But yeah, look up Larry Ellison's remarks about AI surveillance state from September of 2024. Yeah, you know it's not an accident that Trump's cell phone plan is announced the same day that Oracle was established. And Oracle has that 54 like best behavior like we just saw. We just saw they emphasized best behavior in Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracle's remarks. Best behavior, 5472, just like Jesuit order. But Oracle also 54. Yeah. By the way, somebody asked me to look into the death of a singer who died in recent days. Douglas McCarthy, dead at that fateful, or, 58. We know what that number is special to, the secret societies. But his first band is EBM. Notice he died 283 days after his birthday, which is the 61st prime, and his first band, EBM 61. Dead on the 11th of June. EBM's also 11. There's probably a lot more to it, but somebody asked if I could just look at that. I did look at it real quick. There's been a lot to keep up with in recent days. Okay, again, I got about a little more than 10 minutes before I got to hit the road. If you guys do want to call in, the time is now. It is that number, bottom center of the screen, 509-560-4982. Yeah, of course, Cable 54. It's like Diddy's born on the anniversary of he was born, but then They Live came out on his birthday, where Cable 54 is the enemy of the world. Diddy gets taken down at age 54 as predicted a year before it happened. We got a troll.
Teaneck, New Jersey, in the Holy Name Medical Center in New Jersey. I'm a 201er for sure. My parents have the 201 area code too. 201. It's my soul number. 201 ways that you will save my life because he's a great Zachary, how are you doing, Zachary? I have a little stage fright because New Jersey is real. It's real. It's real. Yeah.
Man, these trolls. They got to work on their tactics. My neighbor right now, my former neighbor when I lived in Bothell, is reaching out. I told you about how her sister recently passed. 917. What's up, 917?
Did you do anything on the 2 Utah protesters that were killed in the No Kings Day parade?
Did 2 die? I saw that 1 got shot and 1 got killed, and the shooter was Arturo. I saw that. I saw some Society of Jesus numbers in the victim's name. He had a Samoan name. I know the Mormons like to recruit the Samoans into Mormonism. And I don't know how they go for it. It's like, their skin's not white. How can you join a religion that says the closer to God you are, the whiter your skin is? Anyway.
I just want to know if you looked into that.
I didn't look into it too much. I just said, oh, the shooter's name's Arturo. Go figure.
All right, I'll do some more checking on it. All right. Thanks, Zach.
All right, yeah, take care. And that's the thing too about this day and age we live in. It's like people have never been lonelier, right? There's just more and more lonely people than ever, and it's because hardly anyone goes outside. You know, I feel bad for my neighbor. It was her twin sister who died, and they were attached at the hip. What's up, 573?
How you doing, guys?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm all right. I have a question. I have a question about the FIFA World Cup in USA. Who do you think is gonna win? Or you have an idea?
Gonna win what?
The World Cup in the USA.
I haven't looked into the upcoming World Cup. I don't know if it'll ever be as easy as the last World Cup, though. The last World Cup was a freebie, the first ever one in December, the day after the Pope's 86th birthday, when his country Argentina hadn't won since '86. Argentina over France paid big bucks. France fell to 2-2 in the championship game in 22 with the 22 men on the field. Pope Francis's Argentina beats France. What a script.
I think this World Cup's connected to the Pope with the USA. Too,
oh, no doubt.
So,
no doubt.
You know. So,
yeah.
But I just want to say you have good day, you know, blessing day with your family, you know.
I'm realizing, man, it's already, because that was the end of 2022, man. The World Cup's already next year. It's crazy the way time flies by. I'll have to start looking into it. It'll be here before you know it. So yeah, I'll start thinking about it.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
See you.
Yep, bye.
For a minute, I was thinking I had forever. I was like, wow, it's already almost the next World Cup. Crazy. 562.
Yeah. Wow. It's like as if you just said the word lonely. People are lonely, and I am lonely. Excuse my accent. Excuse my English because Spanish is my first language. So excuse me, but I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank you for putting the information out, giving the information out to the world that the vaccines were going to do harm. I want to thank you for that. I think everybody should. You should get more thanks because you did save lives by putting that information out there. Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah. So yeah, you did save a lot of lives, man. Fuck. I mean, me and my wife, we went and got, and you know, it's happened. I listened to you. I've been listening to you for years. I guess it's happened to your sister and also your sister's husband. But me and my wife, we did not want to get the vaccine. We did not want to get it. For some reason, we were pressured from everywhere. We went and got it, and my wife came down with a major stroke and passed away, and then me, I fucking all of a sudden I have arthritis, like major arthritis, especially in my hands. And this shit came. Where did this come from? It had to be the vaccine, but the most painful was losing my wife, bro. And a lot, even though, me and my wife, we fucked up by getting it. I still thank you for, and you should be, and I think a lot of people should be calling and thanking you for, because you did put that information out there, and that it was going to do damage, and to be careful, but yeah, man, thank you. I met you here when you came down to the crypto center, the Staples Center. I met you down there, but again, so I wanted to thank you again for putting that information out there and saving lives.
Well, you're welcome. I'm sorry about your wife, and I'm sorry about your arthritis.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bro. But thank you, Zach. And man, this world is so crazy. I don't know where it's going. I don't know, man. But that's all I wanted to say. And have a good rest of the day.
All right, you too. Stay strong, friend. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
About 54 too. Don't forget the last presidential election before the towers came down. It was the 54th. Yeah, it's just saying though, just lonely, man. It's just, I think smoking too was actually good for society, because people used to go out and be smoking and just strike up conversation. Not necessarily good for your health with smoking, but it just seems like the things that have happened, smoking got banned and very not popular as the 21st century rolled in. All the internet technology made a lot of people gravitate towards indoors. The culture of fear went through the roof in the 21st century. And now people are isolated. And yeah, it's just like, Through technology, people have never been more connected, but technological connection is not real connection. Anyway, I got time for one more phone call, and then I got to hit the road. If anybody else would like to call in, again, it's that 509 number on the bottom of the screen, 509-560-4982. We'll close it out here with 646. What's up, 646?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your sound's kind of crazy, but what's up?
Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. How you doing, Zach, man? I hope everything's good with you, man. I just want to. I'm usually like a traveling driver, like a travel nurse. So I like just today specifically, I've seen a lot of like military like trucks and stuff. Like I travel a lot, and that's like the first time I've seen it in a while. Well, that I've ever seen where it's like three groups of like multiple truck driving on the highway. So I don't know. That's kind of. I did take a video of it, but like it was just kind of weird to me because I never usually see that many like army or military with like a bunch of cargo trucks and stuff. So I don't know if they maybe could be prepping for something, or you just never know in these days. So
right, you never know.
I thought that was a little weird.
You never know. So, I mean, sometimes you do see those military convoys out on the highway, especially in areas where bases. But yeah, there is a lot of military mobilized all throughout this country right now, probably more than at any other time we could think of in recent history. So. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then you was talking about the loneliness like that. I mean, I definitely could feel where a lot of people have starting to feel more lonely, especially when you come across like knowledge like this. They say when you with wisdom, you know, is much sorrow. You know, that's one of the Bible verses. So you know, as you grow wiser, you know, you feel like people around you, they're not really aware, or they just kind of are ignorant to, you know, certain knowledges and stuff that you know, especially when it's like blatant right in your face. So
Yeah.
so much stuff like this you see all the time as you know, because as we hear, we're supposed to be evolving, you know, and people are not trying to evolve. It seems like, you know, they're just so complacent and want to be stuck in whatever mentality, you know. I guess I call it like that childish mentality, you know, just stuck on, you know, drama and celebrity stuff, things like that. And then, you know, things like this that's going on, you know, with military. I mean, just the climate of the world right now, people are just so like oblivious to it. It's just, now I see why people are so lonely at these point in time. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
Indeed.
But one thing I was asked, I know you're big on with the 201, and I know you reveal a lot of that, but I know zero is a placeholder. So is 21 any specific? Have you like any shown anything that's related to the Jesuits with the work with the number 21?
You don't know the answer to that question yourself?
Specifically, like off the top of my head, no. I could not.
What's the word Jesuit equal?
A lot of 201.
What's Jesuit equal?
Oh, the 21. Okay.
Jesuit equals 21. Yeah. And remember, Bible equals 21. Human equals 21. 21's the sixth triangular number. Man's made on the sixth day. They use this code to control the minds of man. So just like they use the Bible, the Holy Bible 201, to control the minds of man.
Absolutely, yeah, that makes sense for sure. Well, yeah, that's all I want to say, man. And I appreciate you for all your work, man. Please just keep grinding, and yeah, all the truth seekers out here, we definitely appreciate you for what you do. You know, if you never hear, I'm sure you hear it a lot, but I don't think you hear it enough. So, yo, I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
All right, I appreciate it. You have a good day. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right, I gotta go get Sweet Girl, and that is what I will continue to call her. She's starting to discover her voice, though. She's getting this morning when she was hungry, she was like roaring, like, oh boy. Hi, Sarah Sutherland. Thank you very much for your 10. Good to see you. Glad to know you're still out there. One of the most generous donors of all time. I've asked Sarah Sutherland not to donate anymore because she's donated so much, and she hadn't donated for a while, which was just fine. But I do appreciate it, Sarah. Again, it is good to know you are out there. Here, quick recap before we get out of here. We did end up talking about the new Trump Mobile on the anniversary of Oracle being launched, when Larry Silverstein at Oracle told us about the future AI surveillance state to come that Trump funded. So I'm sure that's not an accident. I'm sure if you become a member of Trump Mobile, you'll be one of the new participants in the experiment group that they're working on this total surveillance system. But yeah, again, just 201 overload right now, you guys. On the day leaving 201 days left in the year, the U.S. Army established Detachment 201, which is a big tech military collaboration, a reminder that the internet began through military development. As 917 called in and reminded us, you know, the military personnel file is called a 201 file. 201 is very Jesuit. The Jesuits are very military. This year we got the Pete Hegseth nomination on the Superior General's birthday, the leader of the Jesuits. And something I'd forgotten until I looked at this old post is that the zip code for the Pentagon is 20301, which is the 201st triangular number. That means if you add 1 through 201 together, it adds up to 20,301. And somebody called in and brought up Revenge of the Nerds, and I reminded people that that movie released on the 201st day of the year. Again, you had the Minnesota manhunt over the weekend, another big 201 ritual. You had CNN published this weekend with all this 201 stuff going on. 201 ways to say fuck. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. You had the major escalation in the war on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, when, again, everything going on with Russia, Ukraine, and Israel has just been one big 201 ritual after the next leading up to this moment. We had June 13th circled at the beginning of the year because it was the kill date and the day leaving 201 days left in the year. So, yeah, we covered a few other things too, just going back down memory lane. But yeah, it's time to go get little Ruby. So, I had Trump Mobile, Jesuit order. Amazing the way it overlaps. The new phone again, the T1, T the 20th letter. The new Trump phone's going to be the 201. As a 480 called in to remind us, T1 comes from the Terminator series. And yeah, if Tupac were alive, he would be 54 years old today. Not sure there's a tie in there with Trump Mobile, probably not. Let's go back and look at Tupac lyrics. A lot of rappers in the 90s were rapping about Donald Trump. But and again, I pointed out at the beginning of this administration, there was a hip hop documentary in the 90s called The Show. And the show, hold on. The Show documentary, hip hop, release date. Wait, August 25th. Hold on. Did they change this on here? Oh, that's what it is. It's the soundtrack. The soundtrack for the show released on August 15th, 95, the Jesuit Order's birthday, right? But there's a song on this soundtrack by the rapper J.O. Felony, and he's rapping about Donald Trump. And a part of me looks at that and I go, was that predictive programming, the first felon president? Remember the first felon president in 25, felons 25 like Trump. His military parade on the Army's 250th birthday, key digits 250. But yeah, J.O. Felony has the song rapping about Trump. Something that came out on the Jesuit Order's birthday. Now, all these years later, it would be 30 years later, too, and 30 is connected to Saturn. Saturn has a 30-year cycle. Saturn's connected to judgment. Got to get judged to be a felon. I don't think it's an accident. I think it's another example of predictive programming. Anyway, we had somebody else chip in. Thank you, RIG, Rest in Gematria. All right, we'll leave it there for now. I will be back later if there's something newsworthy. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. Have a good rest of your day. And until next time.